What's going on, everyone? If someone can let me know that you can hear me, we'll get started here.
If you want to eat healthy and
Someone, let me know if you can hear me. Okay, cool. Happy Sunday, everyone. For those of you who want an update, who were on my last live, I feel great. Had it for a few days. I mean, really wasn't that big of a deal. So, feeling good. Yeah. So, and also Happy New Year to everybody. Hope everyone had a safe New Year's Eve, out partying, doing dumb stuff on your ranch or your land or in the woods, wherever you do it. Look, today's live is going to be pretty interesting, mainly because I think we all have to ask, when is this stuff going to stop? When is the stuff that's been going on in America and really just y'all really quick. Just bring it all down a little bit. There we go. And yeah, for everyone who got here, I feel great. No issues. So I'm gonna get to all the I'm gonna get to all the super chats and all the questions once I get done talking. That's kind of how I've always done these, and it kind of works out the best. But over the past year, 2 years, really the year, everything that could have gone wrong in America has gone wrong. Crime has gone up exponentially. That's obviously a byproduct of defunding the police. We've got inflation that's going up like crazy. I don't know when it's going to stop. I don't know how it's going to stop. I don't know how people are affording their groceries. The housing market is a complete joke. And it's just going to get worse because the more immigrants that you have come into the U.S., the more housing you need. And if there's 1.2, 1.5 million immigrants that have came in so far, I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot, and that's a lot of houses, apartments, whatever it is, to hold them in. And really order in general. And here, to me, here's the difference between the left and the right side of America. The left talks so much about white supremacy and how it's such a terrible, terrible thing, but they have a very similar ideology to almost what Hitler had. It's you do what we say or else. And that's what's going on right now in America. And that's why I don't think that America can survive like this. And just to go a little bit more in depth with kind of how this has gone, I want to take everyone back a year, 2 years ago. If someone were to come up to you randomly and say, hey, look, in the next 2 years, there's going to be some sort of sickness that you have a 0.2% chance of dying from. Now that you know that, Are you going to stop going to work? Are you going to stop doing the things that you like? Are you going to stop going outside? Are you going to stop going to the store? Are you going to stop providing for your family? And are you going to live in fear because of it? Most of us would say no. Most people in general would say no. But through the media, through scare tactics, through manipulation, through all of it, the government has conditioned people to think differently about it. And that's why they're able to do so much of this stuff. And there's no other word to use other than tyranny. It's as simple as I can make it. And if you look at it from the start, it's really a simple, it's a very simple strategy that the people who are in power or in place have. And it's kind of like an abusive relationship. So if you look at it, so when this thing started, it was a lockdown. Okay. Then people started getting mad. People weren't putting up with it. People weren't really following it. So they said, okay, no more lockdown. Then it's, okay, you have to cover your face wherever you go, no matter what, all this stuff. Then people started talking about that. And they were like, no, we don't want to do that anymore. Then they brought it down. So essentially what has happened is they're poking us. They're seeing how much they can get away with until we speak up and we say, no, this isn't what we're going to do. We're done with this. And it's really a ridiculous pattern that I personally have seen over the past year, 2 years. And it's been exactly this. It's, oh, well, we'll do this and we'll see how far we can push them. And then once they speak up, we're like, oh no, we got to stop for a second. And then we'll push them again. And then we'll stop. And then we'll push them again and we'll stop. And it's going to continue and continue and continue until something changes. Someone asked me the other night on my live if I think America can survive without a complete dismantling of our government. And I've had a bit of time to think about it, and my answer is no. I think we need a whole new system, and I think we need it quick. And I have an idea as far as what that would look like. And I'm going to go over that right now. The solution has already been written. The solution is our Constitution. We, the people, is the solution. Our government has become way too powerful. Our government thinks that they're untouchable. Our government, here's how it happens. Somebody puts on a big old show before an election. They tell the people what they want to hear. They tell them this, that. Oh, I'll do this. Oh, I won't do this. All this stuff. They get elected. There's no real accountability put in place. There's really none. I mean, if you were to ask me, or if you were to ask the random person who cares about our military, do you think Sleepy Joe should have been kicked out of office, literally removed from office after what happened in Afghanistan? Terrible planning, in my opinion, negligence. The same thing with what happened with Kim Potter. Sure, that was negligence. She pulled the wrong gun. What about for Sleepy Joe? He made the wrong plan. 13 people died. Well, a lot more, but 13 Americans died. Nothing. Sitting there looking at his watch during their funeral. Nothing. He goes on with his day, goes and gets another ice cream cone. It's a problem. It's a problem. And if it's not fixed, it's just going to continue to go on and go on. Hang on one sec, guys. I got to get my water really quick. All right, I'm back. Sorry. But in my opinion, like I said, that's what needs to change. There needs to be an accountability system, and it can't just simply be someone gets elected and then they do whatever they want, and if they screw up, we all suffer. If they do a good job, well, I mean, that's what you said you were going to do, so I mean, that's kind of it. So here's what I think we need to do, or what needs to happen. Every politician out there needs to be fired. I don't care if they're the left. I don't care if they're the right. It's not about left or right anymore. It's about what the people want. And at the end of the day, I know the right side of America wants what the Constitution says, wants a constitutional America. So I think it all needs to be wiped out. And here's the part that I think would just fix everything. Whenever there is a big decision made, let me put it like this before I say this. Really, the only thing that the people decide anymore is when there's an election. So whenever you vote, so election, propositions, all that stuff. The only really other time the people have the say is in jury by trials. Or excuse me, trial by juries. Jeez, that was terrible. Word flop. Why don't we treat America like it's a trial by jury? When there is a big decision that needs to be made, right? So we want to lock America down. We want to make every single American take the jab. We want to make every single American put something over their face. We want to make every single American do this. Great. I'm sure a bunch of people on the left want a unicorn. But it's not all the time realistic. But that's the problem, is when someone is elected, like I said, there's no accountability, so they want to put something in place. All they have to do is sway some people in Congress, get the right votes, and then it's in. The people have nothing to say about it. Why not have another vote? Oh, you want all of America to have something over their face? Okay, let the people vote. Then it's not a politician's problem. Then it's not the President of the United States' problem. It's the people's problem, and we'll deal with it. If the majority of the people want something, okay. But it's not that. It's, oh, well, Sleepy Joe and Fauci think that if you have a little piece of fabric over your face, you're just going to save everyone. Okay, well, even if that's true, do the people want it? Why isn't that a common question when it comes to our government? Oh, just because you were elected, you think you know? No. People's minds change. People say, well, you know what, maybe this isn't the best thing for America right now, so maybe we should get rid of it. But there's no process to do that. There's no process to say, okay, well, we elected this guy a year in, and we don't like half of his policies, so we, the people, are going to vote again on whatever changes he's made, and if we vote him out, we vote him out. Give the power back to the people. It makes no sense to have one person in charge, or 30 people in charge, or however many politicians we have in charge. What we need is facilitators. We don't need politicians. We can do everything we want without one politician. We can vote on every single thing that needs to be changed in America. All we need is a facilitator, meaning that once the vote has been made, they facilitate it into practice, meaning they either write the law or they put it into place. They have no power. Sure, they can still vote, but they have no power. They have no say to say, you know what? No, I don't like the way the people voted, or I don't like what the people want, so we're not going to do that. I mean, seriously, let's think about this logically. If all of America were to vote right now on you have to cover your face day and night, whether you've got the shot or not, you can't go into businesses if you don't have one on, you can't be free, you can't have your freedom, how do you think that vote would go? But they don't care. The government doesn't care. Doesn't care about what the people want. They care about what they want. They care about power. They care about manipulation. Our Constitution is barely there anymore. The term "we the people" is not there anymore. Our system is broken. We vote to see who goes into office. That's it. If they are corrupt, or if they are corrupted in the middle of it, tough. If they're developing dementia, or if they can't say a few sentences without talking like they're talking in another language, tough. Here's what I'll say. If somehow this changed to what I'm talking about, sure, it's going to be a lot more work for the people. Every time something wants to get passed, we're going to have to vote. We all have a cell phone. They can do some coding on them. They can figure it out to where you can do it from your phone. But the Constitution doesn't need to be rewritten. That's what they're doing. They're rewriting it. They're saying, okay, well, because of this, we don't have to follow the Constitution. We can do whatever we want. It doesn't need to be rewritten. It needs to be reread. They need to reread it and say, one man is not powerful. Just because you're in the government doesn't mean crap. If you're in the government, it means you're elected. If you're like a politician or high up in the government, it most likely means that you were elected, an elected official. It means you represent the people. But it doesn't work anymore. I don't know if it ever has. We need to get rid of it. Cut our losses and say, okay, we tried this way, didn't work. Now the people are just going to have to do the work and say, okay, they want to shut America down again. Does America want to be shut down? Oh, but look at all the consequences if we don't. Okay, we'll all look at it. We'll all do our research. We're all human. We're all people. We can read and write just like whoever's in our government. Let us decide, because ultimately we are the ones who either deal with it or don't deal with it. This is the most logical way to do this. The people decide for themselves. The government supports that decision. They don't go against it. I mean, I guess the question has to be asked is, does our government know better than us? Do they have some superpower humans in there that just know better? They say, "Oh man, all the people are saying this, but we know better." So even though millions and millions of people don't want this stuff anymore, we're still going to decide. It's a sad thing we even got to talk about this, but I truly believe it's a simple fix. I truly believe it's as simple as taking the power away from the government, keeping them as facilitators, putting it into the people's hands, and letting them vote on every big issue in America. So, all right, y'all, let's get into some questions here. Mike Ness, every broadcast should have a weather forecast. Okay. Do I vote before or after the dead? Yeah. I mean, I didn't know dead people die, or I didn't know dead people can vote too. But so someone asked, what can we honestly do? So, in my opinion, it's going to take a government official to recommend this. Um, and it's going to take a lot of backing from other government officials to say, yeah, you know what? This is not working. Um, the people are not happy, and we need to keep Americans happy. We need to keep this America. Um, because, I mean, the way it's going, I mean, I really don't see any difference between us and China. I mean, this is straight communism. If you really, really look at it. Yeah, I mean, we can vote them all out of office, um, but I don't. Like I said, I don't think it's who you have in office. I mean, obviously, we want Trump in office. Um, we want people that we agree with in office, but at the end of the day, it's never going to be perfect until the people just decide. Like any big decisions being made, like, hey, do we want to go to war? Have a vote on it. Does America want to risk going to war in this place? No, we don't. Yes, we do. Everything that happens in America or doesn't happen to America should be in the people's hands. It shouldn't be, oh, well, we have General Milley with lipstick who's talking to China saying that we're not going to invade them. Do you think that America is being invaded? Yeah, I think we'll be invaded at some point. Like I said, I've always taught myself to think like the enemy. And if you look at America from the outside, you look how everything is falling apart, and you look at our leadership, it's terrible. So, you know, that's it. What would I do as president? I would do exactly what I just said. Um, I would probably introduce something to where literally it's no longer politicians, it's no longer government officials, it's simply facilitators. And whenever there's a big decision to be made, you go on TV and say, look, we're thinking about doing this. Not, oh, well, this is going to happen. No, 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 no. This isn't a dictatorship. You're not going to scare people into doing stuff. You're not going to tell them they have to do stuff. It's simply get on TV and say, hey, look, we're thinking about implementing this. Here are the reasons why. Here are the bad things that may come from it. Here are the good things that we think can happen. You've got 15 days to vote on it. Whatever happens, happens. Majority wins it. Boom. Then it's the people's issue. Our system is way too complicated. Why not simplify it? A very large group of people is very hard, it's very hard to corrupt. Right? So the left and the right, they're both made up of hundreds of millions of people. It's hard to corrupt the choice that they want to make as a whole. Now, a few politicians, probably pretty easy, as we've seen. Yeah, we have been invaded. Um, they left the borders open, wide open. All right, y'all, let's get some more questions in here. Will there be a war on American soil? I think if what's going on doesn't stop, yes, I think there will be. I think people are fed up. I mean, people are done with being told what to do. Do you think that people who fought wars back in the day would have fought if they could see in the future? Well, that's a good question. I'm gonna have to think about that one. What's next for the Arsenal? Um, that's a good question. Um, Probably I don't know. I've been thinking about a 50 cal. I'm not sure. Do you think promoting of LGBT culture is degrading our society? Yeah, I think any of that progressive stuff, that's being put in front of actual issues in the US is totally screwing up our society. All right, y'all. Answer some more questions here. Kind of changed my setup in the back a little bit. Do I think California will turn red by 2030? No. It's got LA, it's got San Francisco, and it's got Hollywood. That pretty much guarantees it's gonna be blue. Yeah, what I just heard about that. Apparently they're just getting rid of people in the military because they're not getting the shot. Really goofy. All right, y'all. Do a few more questions, then I'll roll. Are they gonna ban DT15? So I don't know if y'all remember, I did an old video where I changed the name from AR-15 to a DT-15, Donald Trump 15. But this guy's question is, are they going to try to ban them? No, I don't think they. I think they're going to try. They're going to try a lot of things. I don't think they ever will. Mainly because there's too many people that own them, and there's too many people that are going to be like, okay, like you banned them, good job. Like come and get them. Like you're not going to find them. Not going to give them to you. So. Do you think if we got a Republican in office, do you think, I don't know, I think maybe that was retracted, but I think the question was if we got a Republican in office, do you think we could come out of it? Yeah, I mean, I think it would for sure help a lot. But what's up, Brian? Sorry to hear that, bud. Yeah, I think it'll help a lot, but at the end of the day, I think the people The people need to make the decisions. That's really what it comes down to. Do you think World War III will be the people against the government? No, I don't think it would ever get that far. They've got too much. I think they just have too much high-tech weapons for it to ever get to that point. But are the military mandates designed to move leftists who can slide up in rank? Ooh, that's a good question. Maybe. I didn't even think about that. That's a really, really good question. But I wouldn't put it past them. Do I think Trump sees my videos? Who knows? Who knows? I hope so. What's up, Paul? Communism should be a capital crime. Yeah. I agree. I think, I mean, it's so far gone. It's so far gone at this point. It's just nuts. Is a lockdown coming? That's a good question. I don't know. Like I said, I mean, all they're looking for is power and money. And the more boosters they give out, the more money essentially that's going into big pharma. And I don't know, lockdown's just going to scare more people to get it. So I really don't know. I mean, like nothing is off the table anymore. I mean, it all sounds crazy when we say it out loud. And it all sounds just like it would never happen, but 2021 happened, 2020 happened. So all right, everyone. It's been awesome hanging out with y'all tonight. Hope everyone has a good week, and we'll see you next time.
All right.